Ross, the reluctant racer. Once upon a time in the bustling town of Gearsville, there lived a little car named Ross. Ross was unlike any other car in Gearsville because he wasn't built for speed. In fact, Ross was known as the slowest car in town. While all the other cars raced around the streets with their engines roaring and tires screeching, Ross would chug along at a leisurely pace, taking in the sights and sounds of the town. Despite his slow speed, Ross had a big dream. He wanted to be a racing champion. Every day, he would watch the other cars zoom past him, their sleek bodies glinting in the sunlight. Ross admired their speed and agility, but he never felt discouraged. Instead, he believed that with determination and perseverance, he could achieve anything he set his mind to. One sunny morning, an announcement was made in Gearsville. There would be a grand racing competition held in the town square, and the winner would be crowned the fastest car in all the land. Excitement filled the air as cars from far and wide gathered to compete in the race. Ross felt a flutter of nerves in his engine, but deep down, he knew that this was his chance to prove that speed wasn't everything. As the race began, Ross took off from the starting line at his own steady pace. The other cars whizzed past him, their engines roaring like thunder. But Ross remained calm and focused, determined to stay true to himself. Along the winding racetrack, Ross encountered all sorts of obstacles: sharp turns, steep hills, and even a muddy puddle that threatened to slow him down. But Ross didn't let anything stop him. With each obstacle he faced, he used his wit and determination to find a way through. When he reached the sharp turns, he carefully navigated them, using his brakes to slow down just enough to make the turn without skidding. When he faced the steep hills, he revved his engine with all his might, inching his way up to the top, one slow step at a time. And when he encountered the muddy puddle, he powered through it, his tires splashing through the mud with determination. Despite his slow speed, Ross was making progress. The other cars, caught up in their need for speed, were making careless mistakes and getting themselves into trouble. But Ross remained steady and focused, slowly but surely making his way towards the finish line. As the race entered its final stretch, Ross found himself neck and neck with the fastest car in town. The crowd gasped in amazement as they watched the unlikely pair racing towards the finish line. With one final burst of speed, Ross surged ahead, crossing the finish line just milliseconds before the other car. The crowd erupted into cheers as Ross was crowned the winner of the grand racing competition. Despite his slow speed, Ross had proven that determination and perseverance were the true keys to success. And as he stood on the winner's podium, a proud smile on his grill, Ross knew that he had achieved his dream of becoming a racing champion. From that day on, Ross was no longer known as the slowest car in town. Instead, he was celebrated as the bravest and most determined car in all of Gearsville. And as he drove through the streets, his engine purring with pride, Ross knew that no matter how fast or slow he may be, he would always be a winner in his own right.